Hi guys, this is a video to review transverse lines. So, to review what a transverse line is. A transverse line is a line that intersects two parallel lines. When it intersects those two parallel lines, it creates 8 angles. We are talking specifically about 5 rules. 4 of the rules say that the angles are congruent, which means they're the same, and one of the rules talks about the angles being different measures. So, the chart that you were supposed to copy in your notes was if I give you 2 angles, I need you to tell me some information about them. So, the first thing you're going to ask yourself is, are they the same or are they different? And when I say the same, I mean, do they equal the same amount? Are they both acute? Are they both obtuse? And if they're not, then you're going to pick different. So we have a mathematical word for the same, and it's called congruent. You may see this symbol when you hear the word congruent. If they are different, we use the word supplementary, which I'm going to run out of room here writing it on this board. Okay. If something is congruent, that means that it could be 4 possible relationships. So the first relationship would be that they are vertical. And what vertical just means is that they are across from each other. So if we look at this image, vertical angles could be 1 and 3, 2 and 4, 5 and 8, or 6 and 7, across or diagonal from each other. It's very obvious that 1 and 3 are both obtuse angles. They're going to be the same or congruent, and then the reasoning would be is because they're vertical. Okay, the next rule is corresponding. And what corresponding means is that they are just in the same spot. Okay, so how I explained it in class was that if you snipped it here, think about it, if I picked this one up and dropped it on top of the other ones, it'd be the numbers that overlay. So 1 and 5 are corresponding, 4 and 7, 2 and 6, and 3 and 8. They're in the matching spot. If they're the same, they could also be alternate, interior. Okay, interior is the important word. It means that they're both inside the parallel lines. So if you're looking at the parallel lines, only 4 angles fall inside those lines. 4, 3, 5, and 6. So the second part of that rule is called alternate. So if I say 4, I'm looking for something that is opposite of 4, which would be 6. So if I said 5, I'm looking for something still inside, but opposite, which would be 3. So that's alternate interior. The fourth word is alternate exterior. And the word exterior is the important part there. It means they are outside the parallel line. So if we go back to our image, only 4 angles fall outside of the parallel lines. 1, 2, 7, and 8. The 1 has to be opposite, that's what the alternate word means, and the same. So 1 and 8 are obviously congruent. They're both obtuse angles. Okay? And 2 and 7 would be alternate exterior. Okay? So if you say something is the same, you're telling me that they are mathematically congruent. If they are congruent, you have 4 options. Vertical, corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior. A big hint, something else you could ask yourself, is are they both inside, both outside, or one of each? And if they're one of each, they're either right by each other and they're diagonal, so they're vertical, or they're on opposite sides in the same spot, so they're corresponding. But what happens if I were to pick angles like 1 and 2? 1 and 2 are not the same angle measure. 1 is an obtuse angle and 2 is an acute angle. So what you're going to say is that these angles are different. And if they're different, they're supplementary. And that might be enough for you to write is just supplementary, but a lot of the times what happens with supplementary is they want you to tell what the other angle is. So you're going to take the known value and subtract from 180 degrees. There's something similar to this posted on Google Classroom. It's the last slide of the notes if you did not get it copied. So now let's use some of these rules to actually answer some questions. Okay, so here are the first set of questions. Okay, so angle 1 and angle 3. So the first thing you ask yourself is, are they the same or different? So looking at 1 and 3, 1 and 3 are both obtuse angles, so they must be the same, which means they are congruent. But why? So then I can look over here to my chart. Are they across from each other? Are they in the same spot? Both inside or both outside? So 1 and 3 are across from each other. So that must mean that they are vertical. Okay, so let's move to the next one, 7 and 8. So looking at 7, 8, ask yourself, are they the same or different? Okay. Are they the same or different? Well, 7's acute and 8's obtuse, so they must be different. And if you identify something as different, you're going to say that it is supplementary. Okay, the rule or the reasoning behind that would be is that they are different. Okay, so 1 and 8. 1 is obtuse, 8 is obtuse. So that must mean that they are the same, which means they're congruent. If they're congruent, now we have to ask myself, why? Are they across from each other? Are they corresponding? Are they both inside the parallel lines? Or are they both outside the parallel lines? So if I look at them, they are both outside the parallel lines, so they must be alternate exterior. Okay, last one like this, 4 and 7. Okay, if I look at 4, 4 is an acute angle. 7 is also an acute angle, so that must mean they're the same, so that would make them congruent. Okay, but why? Okay, looking at 4 and 7, are they both inside the parallel lines? Are they both outside the parallel lines? Are they diagonal from each other? Or are they in the same spot? They're in the same spot, so that would be corresponding. If you did not finish last night's homework, this is like the top section. Okay, so then the bottom section looks a little different, but this chart will still be very helpful. Okay, so looking at number 5, if angle 1 equals 120, what must be the angle of 3? So that's still going to ask yourself the same thing. Are 1 and 3 the same? Well, 1's obtuse and 3's obtuse, so they must be the same. And if they're the same, it's really simple. All you have to do is say, if 1's 120, 3 is also 120. But you do have to give the rule. So why are they the same? Are they across from each other? Are they in the same spot? Are they both inside the parallel lines? Are they both outside the parallel lines? Okay. They're just right across from each other. So that must be the rule. Vertical. Okay. So looking at number 6. If 1 equals 120, what must 4 equal? So you're going to ask yourself, are they the same or different? Well, 1 is obtuse and 4 is acute. So that must mean that they're different. So what you're going to do, it says right here, take the known value and subtract it from 180. So I'm going to do 180 minus 120, which gives me 60 degrees. And I use the rule for supplementary. Okay, number 7. We have, if 1 is 120, what is 8? So look at 1 and 8. 1 is obtuse, 8 is obtuse, so they must be the same. So that makes this box really easy to fill in. Okay, so the rule, why? Are they both inside the parallel lines? Both outside the parallel lines? Across from each other? Or in the same spot? Well, they're both outside the parallel lines. So it's alternate exterior. Okay, and then number 8, if 1 is 120, what must 5 be? Well, 1 is obtuse, 5 is also obtuse, so that must mean that they are the same. So this is 120, but why? Okay, so look at 1 and 5. Are they both inside the parallel lines? Both outside the parallel lines? In the same spot? Or directly across from each other? Well, 1's outside and 5 is inside, so that doesn't work. And they're not right across from each other. So by default, it has to be the other one, which says they're in the same spot, which is true. If I pick this up and set it on top of that, 1 and 5 are right next to each other. So the rule is corresponding. Hopefully this helps clarify some of the issues that you guys were having. See you tomorrow.